So I'm sitting here reading this story about the miscarriage, and I see a tweet that finds that apparently they have found part of what Meghan Markle wrote about in the New York Times. Someone else wrote something very similar in a book. Are you kidding me? For real, for real? No. Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. I wanted to do a follow-up to the story about Meghan Markle and her miscarriage. I found this article to be really interesting, and it asked an important question, something that I alluded to, but I like how this article goes in more detail about that question. And it goes like this. And also I wanted to thank Marky Meg for sharing this. I actually saw this on her Twitter feed. It's, do we really need to know about Meghan Markle's miscarriage? So it is very sad that Meghan Markle suffered a miscarriage. It is always very sad when that happens, when a happily expected mother loses her baby. Now, I just want to mention as a side note that, there were some other revelations that came out about Meghan even really being pregnant. And I found some interesting dynamics between what was the scene in the movie Steel Magnolias, where a lady was holding her baby and she did exactly what Meghan wrote about in her article by suddenly feeling this sharp pain and having to put her child down when she realized something was wrong. And it just makes you question, because we know Meghan has had a history of plagiarizing. Did she see this? Did she write about it because she'd seen it? And then there was also another article that someone shared with me on YouTube about the writing that seems so close to other writings that had to do with miscarriage. And I think it's put a big question mark now for me, because I'm wondering, was she pregnant? Was she really pregnant? Because now we can see things are starting to come out that makes it look like this was all really a PR stunt, which I had always thought in the beginning anyway, even if she were pregnant. I was thinking, well, why would she be sharing this? And well, it's good to talk about this, because who can criticize someone who has lost a fetus? You can't really criticize someone for this. And because of all the negative things that have been said about Meghan and their photo op debacle at the cemetery, and other things that they've been criticized about, she's been getting a lot of negative press. And this was something that they knew they were going to get positive press around, and they have. It's garnered a lot of sympathy because of this story that she chose to write about. But it always begs the question to look further. Why write about this right now? So let's finish reading this in the article. It is also strange, however, that Markle has chosen to write about this miscarriage in such an emotionally revealing way, in detail on the pages of the New York Times. Now, I thought Markle and Prince Harry wanted privacy. Here is Markle inviting not only the New York Times readers, but also people around the world to observe one of the most intimate moments of her life. She's inviting us right into her hospital room. In fact, where she tells us there were cold white walls. And Harry's hand was clammy as they both wept for their loss. And when you hear that, it really is tugging at the heartstrings to make you want to feel sorry for them. And to put aside all of the negative things that anyone has ever said about them. When you hear that, they're trying to get you to now turn the page, feel sorry for us now, because of the intimate detail of knowing that they were in such this cold and uninviting room, and they're crying together over their loss. Who doesn't feel sorry for that? And the way it's written, it makes you feel like you have to now feel sorry for them. You don't have a choice. I have never felt more like an intruder into Harry and Meghan's life than I did by reading Meghan's piece. Yes. So at this point, you got an intimate look into their room. You like looking like, wow, close up, you're a fly on the wall, because she's giving you such intimate details. And before, she didn't want you to look inside of her privacy, inside of her life. This is all private, not even showing us her child, her first child. But yet you're going to invite us into your life of a child that's not even born yet. You're going to really open everyone up to this private moment, considering what you've always talked about in the past. It just doesn't feel right. And all the people on my channel who are just like, she's a liar, liar. I can hear everybody speaking to me like they don't believe her. You're like, no, no, she did not carry no child and lose it. This is a PR stunt. That's what everyone has been saying on my channel. It's just, it was like, oh, okay. I was really shocked. I was like, oh, people convinced. They've seen too much of her bad behavior to think otherwise. And for me, I always tend to want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I do. I always want to see the good side of people. I don't want to look at people as being mean. And I'll tell you, it's gotten me in trouble with people who want to just walk all over you because you're so nice. And sometimes I have to start trying to be a little bit closed off and not so nice, because people will take advantage of you. They will, and it has happened to me. And I could see Meghan doing something like that. I can see her not really caring about the truth and wanting to put something out there that would get the sympathy of people, because this is what she's desperate for. This is something that has to happen to really turn the pages and to get people to see another side. So when you look at all of these different components to Meghan and what she's going after, you can see how this could be planted as a PR stunt. And it could sound mean if you just said it out the blue about someone having a miscarriage. But see, like I've always said, there is a history, there is a pattern of behavior, and people are able to piece together intentions, behaviors, and understand that this is something that was manufactured and created because it falls in line with who she is and what she is trying to get sympathy. She's trying to get people to not be so hateful towards her. So it really opens it up a little bit more. There are an undeniable contradiction at play here. Even those who are praising Markle as brave for writing a mini essay about miscarriage, the word brave is far too promiscuously used these days, must admit that we do live in an extraordinary double standard in relation to voyeurism. So yes, voyeurism today is completely off the charts, and we could see that this is something that she wants to do, but at the same time, she wants you to not think she wants to do it. But by this whole piece, she's inviting you in, right? She wants you to see. When the Mail on Sunday publishes a letter that Meghan wrote to her father, and which her father freely gave to the Mail, that's an act of grotesque voyeurism. Why do a lowly rag and its lowly readers insist on peering into the intimacies of Meghan's life? People ask, yet when Markle herself opens the door to her innermost emotions and welcomes a vast global audience to observe her pain, that is facilitating voyeurism, apparently. No, it's brave. It's raising awareness. In which case, why did I feel like a voyeur reading Markle's piece? Why did I find myself wondering why I know so much about Harry and Meghan's difficulties, pains, and their emotions? I have never particularly felt like a voyeur while looking at paparazzi shots of the Sussexes strolling around LA or discovering what Meghan's father thinks about their marriage. After all, getting papped in what celebs do, and Thomas Markle has as much right to put his side of the story as Meghan and her friends do. Exactly. But yet keeping in mind that Meghan is upset for her father pretty much taking up for himself and wanting to look decent. And ask yourself this question. Why would you be hating on your father because he was trying to have a better portrayal of himself in the papers? Like, is that really a reason to be upset with your father? Because you're trying to look halfway decent in the eyes of the media and the people who are reading these publications? Is that just so awful and bad? I think not. But knowing the precise circumstances in which Markle suffered her miscarriage, knowing what her son Archie was doing at the time, knowing about what she and Harry felt and did in that cold, white hospital room, I don't want this information. It feels wrong. Markle has just exposed far more about her internal life than her father and any tabloid newspaper has ever done. So true. So true. You painting a picture. She painting a picture and she's like, you know, come into my world. I'm going to draw you in. I'm going to draw you in with how I'm going to write this. I'm going to be very creative about how I'm going to write it. And I really want you to feel the moment. Feel the moment that I am writing for you. It's more than me just saying this happened. But not only am I putting you in the room of my miscarriage, but I'm also going to paint really good, fine details for you to really get a crisp look into what it is that we are doing at that very moment of pain that I am having in this private moment. Think about that. That's what she did. Markle's very public confession of pain conforms, of course, to what is now considered to be a legitimate, respectable form of voyeurism. The display of one's wound and weaknesses to a willing, nosy audience under the banner of what? Raising awareness, where celebrities reveal all about mental illnesses, private griefs, physical ailments, and marital crisis are celebrated as empowering. Are we really invading Meghan Markle's life? Or is she invading ours? That has become a commonplace for celebrities to expose their inner lives to a global audience. Should not distract us from how unusual this is. Markle says that she and others have opened the door, knowing that when one person speaks truth, it gives license for all of us to do the same. No thanks. We choose to close that door and keep something out for ourselves. Leave us alone. I think that was a really good article because it has another dynamic to it. It's like Meghan saying, leave me alone. No. I want my privacy. But here, look at me. I had a miscarriage. And listen to the intimate details of what happened to me. Leave me alone. Don't read that letter from my father that I had given to my father. Why are you reading that letter? Though that was for my father's eyes and not for your eyes. But at the same time, look at what happened to me. I lost a pregnancy. Feel sorry for me. I am also writing because I want you to understand that this suffering that I have can go along creatively with all the other things that I've dipped my toe in, like politics and movements in the craziness of this year 2020. There is this pulling and pulling and pulling of the people to take a look and notice her and what she's doing and how she's serving the greater good of the whole world. But then on the flip side, suing people for even wanting to look into her life. And it's like, at this point, just shut up. Why are you telling us all of this? Harry advised Meghan Markle to write about her miscarriage to help others. So Prince Harry encouraged Meghan to open up on her tragic miscarriage to help other families dealing with similar pain, it is claimed. The Duchess of Sussex bravely wrote about losing her baby back in July and her almost unbearable grief this week, with her husband persuading her to pen the emotional essay. Now, we know what happened here. We know. Harry did not do that. He didn't. It was Meghan like, I'm going to say that you encouraged me to do this. That's what happened. At least that's what I think happened. Harry said to Meghan, I think you should write about this miscarriage because it can help other families through this. Then it is a reason to do it. Katie told True Royalty TV's The Royal Bee. That's why they did it. You look at Harry and some of the things that he has said, and you would never expect from a senior royal. When have we ever read a royal write like that? I thought it was incredibly brave. There we go, brave. Now think about this. Harry has been taught his whole life to be private about things. That goes along with the royal family stance on things. They don't write about their private lives and details. They help people through their charities. If you want to help people with the fact that you had a miscarriage, well, go visit some women's shelter or talk to women who have had miscarriages, or, you know, go do it like on that level. But to write about... I'm sitting here reading this story about the miscarriage, and I see a tweet that finds that apparently they have found part of what Meghan Markle wrote about in the New York Times. Someone else wrote something very similar in a book. Are you kidding me? For real, for real? No, no, no. Meghan! You see, I've been this whole time trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, you know, because this is a very sensitive thing that we're talking about. And she plagiarized it. I mean, at least it looked that way. It looks a lot like plagiarism. See, and this is why seeing all the comments from people about she's a liar, I was like, okay, she lied. But I don't know. And I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt because it's a very bad thing. But like I was saying, you look at patterns and you look how people behave, and you know, when somebody show you who they are, believe them. This is one of those situations. And it looks like she plagiarized it. It's so bad. And this is what I want to say to people who they say, why you hating? Why you hating on Meghan? Or this is a hate channel. No. And I understand if you don't want to watch my channel because you think it's hate-filled. No. What you are watching is someone making poor choices. And these choices are being looked at and criticized because she's had a huge opportunity, a huge platform to do really good things in the world. I mean, her platform of opportunity was so huge. And to take it and to blow it and to look at what you have in as opportunity as such a small thing that you think you still on a small stage trying to make it big in the entertainment industry. That's the goal. But she had much bigger things to accomplish with this platform. And she just threw it away. And this is not criticizing Meghan. Please do not think that I am hating on Meghan. I don't ever want it to come across that I'm being mean and bullying, because I do not like those things. But what I do is I look at choices and behavior. And from day one, like I told you guys, when I saw Meghan come to the wedding, the day of the wedding, when we were looking at this girl, like, who, because we didn't know who she was. We were like, what? We just looking at her. What you gonna do? Right, kind of a thing. And when she had on the white dress, like, there were a lot of signals that were like, danger, 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 that I was thinking, okay, let me see what's getting ready to happen. And then poor choice after poor choice after poor choice. I was like, wait, no, something is wrong here. Something is wrong. And this is why I started my channel, to look closer and more critically at the behavior and the choices, and to see why. And it has turned out to be a great tragedy. And it's newsworthy, and we talk about it. It's newsworthy, and we talk about it. That's what it is. So with that in mind, if you want to still follow me, but not this whole thing with Meghan and Harry, that's fine. I get it. If you go on my YouTube page, you'll see that there is a logo called Expat, and there is a link to a podcast that I have about people who are expats, because you guys know I've lived abroad, and my passion is about travel and learning and teaching about the world through travel. So if you're interested in following me on my podcast, I would encourage you to follow my podcast. I hadn't been promoting it as much. There's hardly any followers right now, but I have so many episodes that I have been working on that I just haven't uploaded yet. And some famous people are going to be coming too. I've got some people that may be doing an interview with me that are relatively famous. So I would just encourage you to go ahead and follow me on my podcast right now, because some really great material is going to be uploaded there, and you can catch that link on the YouTube page. But going back to what's been said, it looks like she's plagiarized, you guys. And I don't know for sure. I have to actually get this book. Apparently, it's from this book called Chasing Light. I clutched her tightly and cried into her. As I tenderly held my firstborn in my arms, I was saying goodbye to my third. This is an excerpt from Chasing Light, Finding Hope Through the Loss by Stephanie Tong. And I'm going to actually get this book. I'm going to see if I can get a copy of the actual excerpt, because right now I'm just reading what's been written. People are talking about this now. So I'm going to confirm it by getting the actual book. But I mean, if this is the case, then this is like why I said what I said about, this is not about hating. This is about looking at someone critically in their choices. And, you know, I get some people say, well, why you being mean to your sister girl? You a sister girl. No, more so, especially because I am a sister girl. We need to be checking this behavior and looking closely at it, because I don't want anyone who is supposed to be representing Black people, that has a platform as huge as Meghan has, and to be doing silly and stupid things like this. Plagiarism is, you should not be doing that. That's not okay. And it is not just situations like this. There are lots of different things that Meghan has done that it's just not okay. And because I am a royalist and I enjoy looking at the comings and goings of the royal family, more so about my Diana, you guys all know. But now that Meghan is in the fold, okay, my ears been perked up again. What's she doing? And this is why we talk about it. Poor choices. It's not hating, you guys. It's not. So we got to look at this, because if this is what if she has really done this, because I didn't want to believe it. I was like, look, she didn't lost a child. Y'all, we don't know. This is just it's just so ridiculous. It's embarrassing. It is just flat out embarrassing. And apparently someone is saying that this was in reference to a death of a child, not a miscarriage. So this is why I have to look further into this. But still, it's the comparison of loss. It's the comparison in the wording and the similarities in how it's written. Because you can't tell me that you had an experience that sounds very closely to how this was written in a book. That is just, the possibilities of that being a coincidence is just too high. And I just can't believe, I cannot believe that she had an experience that was written pretty much verbatim as what is written in this book. It don't make sense. And when it don't make sense, it ain't true. And this is what the thing is with Netflix. Netflix. What have you done? What have you done? And now I heard also that Netflix has agreed not to pull in the issues about Harry and Meghan into the Crown series as part of their agreement with Netflix. I don't know if that is true or not, but it looked like it could be. I mean, at this point, all this just seems like, yeah, that could happen. Yeah, that could happen. It all seemed like it could happen because you've got serious issues with just anything could be. Okay, if you can think it, it could happen. If you can think it, it can happen. As far as, I mean, that's what it looks like. So shame if you did this, because you done been busted. And we gonna get to the bottom of it. We gonna get to the bottom. You cannot be on a big platform like this and not be accountable for your behavior. And this is why my channel seeks to call out this bad behavior, find ways to correct your behavior and do the right thing, so that you can stop messing up on this platform, this global stage of a platform. And the only reason why I do what I do is because I'm so passionate about it. It's part of the work that I do every day about helping young people be accountable for their actions and to learn and grow. Because, you know, when you're young, you do stupid things. You try to become more informed and do better when you know better, right? But this girl, Harry and Meghan, they're almost 40. And they still making stupid mistakes, doing things that they should not be doing. How are they going to pass on knowledge and teachings when they're out here for the whole world to see all these things that they are making? And this is why they trying to cover it up all the time with that PR agency. They trying to cover up their behavior. We got to get PR that's going to really sweep it up, make us look like we are doing things this way, because people looking at us like we're doing them that way, the bad way. Look, you wouldn't even need your PR people if you were just about doing the right thing. You could send out a press release about the things that you are doing, and it would get covered because people know you good for it. You do good things. We want to cover you. Hey, yeah, go do you, girl. Hey, that's right. But you ain't doing it. It's like you got this PR team out here to cover up how you really are. But the problem is people can see how you really are. They see through it. And it is a shame. It's shameful. And it's making the royal family look bad, to be quite honest with you. They trying to distance themselves from you. They be like, what? Harry, Meghan, who? I don't know them. Senior royals? Oh, no. We kicked them to the curb a long time ago. We ain't got nothing to do with them. That's what this going to be looking like real soon. You just gonna be like hands length away. You gonna be part of the step family. We ain't got nothing to do with you. You know how you got those crazy people in your family, like people that you don't want nothing to do with, but you can't help it because they're a part of your family. Like this is what this couple is right here, because they giving them a bad name. And this is why the queen has to strip the titles, because if she don't, she's just gonna be lockstep and barrel with everything that they're doing, and it's going to be a reflection of the royal family, the ones that are out there doing the work. That was about Frogmore Cottage. I do believe that the queen put her foot down and she was like, look, When they come back in March and we do a review of their year, she's going to see all kind of things and violations that they have done. And she is not going to extend that HRH. She's going to take it away, and they're going to lose privileges. Because at some point, like I've said before, you have got to put your foot down and you got to do a smackdown on this behavior, because it's making you look bad. It's not letting someone learn from their mistakes in their behavior. It's taking advantage at this point. This is like an entitlement problem. Like, you think just because you got a title, you entitled. No, you ain't entitled to act a fool and do things and not follow the rules. That's not okay. Just because you have a title. So the queen is going to come down hard on the smackdown. That's what I think. It's going to be a smackdown. Now, the other thing, so it's all over. Meghan and Harry face total exit as HRH styles banned. So it could happen, you guys. There's an article that has come out that says that they could be losing their titles. So when they stepped down last year and wanted to become more financially independent, and by settling into California, they've signed this lucrative Netflix deal, reportedly worth 112 million pounds. The agreement to rebel couple has struck with the Queen. The Megxit deal will be reviewed by Her Majesty the Queen and Prince Charles and Prince Philip in March. I'm sorry, not Prince Philip, but Prince William in March of 2021. So that's coming up. Some royal experts have suggested the review could result in an irreversible exit from the firm, with the potential for Meghan and Harry's Sussex titles and HRH styles to be stripped. Strip them down. Strip them down. Dr. Anna Whitelock, she is the deputy head of School of Humanities at Royal Holloway and a royal commentator. She said the meeting in the spring could formalize the split rather than build bridges. And who's not building the bridges? We know who it is. The bridges are not being built because Meghan is on a trajectory to be famous and to have world domination and to be Princess Diana-like, trying to force her likability on us. And we looking at her with the side eye. We don't want to like you because you make poor choices. Not just because we want to hate on you. That's not it. You make poor choices. You make people look bad. You giving us sister girls a bad name by your choices. Do better. Do better. Right? She's just not built. And you know what I am going to do? I am going to talk more about other American princesses who have done very well within their new lives and institutions of royalty and majestic living and aristocratic lifestyles. I'm going to talk about it, but the news just keeps coming out with these two. I can't catch a breath. Now, I suspect very little will change if there is no sign Harry and Meghan wanting to return to the royal fold and all the rigmarole and responsibilities that come with that. The fact that Prince William has been approached to take over the role of Captain General of the Royal Marines, previously held by Harry before he was stripped of his military appointments after stepping back from royal duty, suggests that there is no expectation of a formal return to royal business for the Sussexes from either side. Instead, it is more likely that the review will focus on the small print of what kind of commercial media ventures the Sussexes might seek to be involved with and what the palace might seek to prohibit. And so in short, the review most likely will formalize the split, and at least for now, then signal the beginning of a reapproachment. And royal author Robert Lacey has also hinted that Meghan and Harry's exit could be set in stone at the review. There are two titles involved. There is the HRH status, and then there is the actual title of Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Obviously, in the review in March, concludes that they can't stay working royals, then it is quite likely that they could lose or forfeit their HR8 styles. They've already been put into suspension. The way it is presented at the moment is that they are HRH, but they choose not to use it. It doesn't say that they are banned from using it. If this does develop in the future, I think it will be presented in the same way they choose not to be royals anymore. Ooh, and Prince Philip, he might have had an affair. Did Prince Philip have him a lady friend on the side? Okay. We'll have to look at that. So we're going to start talking about other things. I'm just trying to catch my breath with all of these stories with Meghan and, Harry and all their comings and goings and things. It's just a hot mess. So I don't know. We just got some things to be looking at a lot deeper. Do better. And Harry, he's just following along with this bad behavior. He had a nice settled life doing him, just, with his family. And now his whole world is in chaos and just craziness and trying to survive. And let's see what happens. We still waiting to see, because the train, you guys, is still running. It is running and it ain't slowed down. We'll see what happens. Peace and love. I love you all. Bye-bye.